Morning. Today we'll be working on a hip workout, focusing on proper hip mobility and stability through a variation of mat exercises and standing exercises, while we'll be really careful not to involve the lower back, which tends to want to associate with hip movement. So let's get started. Just get a mat and let's work hard through this next 20 minutes. Some mobility exercises for the hip, getting ourselves on the ground, and simply getting first the movements from the rotation of the hip. We're going to raise our knee, we're going to raise the knee to the side, we're going to rotate, bring the knee down, bring the foot out, come back wide, knee comes back to the knee, and elbow, and drop down. Breathing out. Breathe in, breathe out, come back wide, in, breath out, high knee to the elbow, and down. We'll go for one more. Rotate through the hip, coming back wide, knee to the elbow, and down. We'll switch sides. Wide, rotate, back wide, knee up towards the elbow, and down. We're working on making sure that the lower back does not arch with the movement. Try to isolate the rotation from the head. This might take a bit of a limiting movement so that you actually isolate the hip movement and not associate that lower back. One more time. Back wide, up to the elbow, and down. Nice work. So next we're going to work on some nice bridges. We're going to lay down on our backs on our mat. And let's work on pushing through the hips. Come back down, flatten your back. Make sure that your breath is out as you go up. Inflate your belly. Think of that full rib cage expansion. And as you go up, bring the navel in. Think about the 360 inflation of your whole cylindrical abdomen. Lift your nose, breath out through the mouth. And notice I'm not going too high so I don't start to arch my back. I'm really using my glutes here. Last repetition. And slowly relax. From here we're going to lay down on our side, getting ourselves to make a bit of a pillow of the elbow. With the foot, you're going to touch the ground. You're going to reach up, squeeze your bum. Come back down, breath out. There you go. Feeling the side glute as you kick. Make sure you're keeping the toes lifted and not rotating your foot. Keeping it nice and steady in this parallel position with the floor. Feel that side glute really burn up now. We're going to hold at the last rep here, keep the knee straight, and we're going for small pulses. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Slowly relax and switch sides. You can simply turn around or face me, and let's get ourselves focused on that nice bent bottom leg. Deep breath out, find your glute, breathing in, coming down. Again, watch that lower back wanting to compensate. You might need to limit your range so that you don't overextend your lower back as you kick, holding at the top. Going for 10, 2. Time I breathe out, I contract my abs, thinking of my ribs shifting down and hardening or stiffening the abdominal area between the ribs and the hip. And slowly relax. Good job. Let's go back to our backs, getting ourselves to bridges one more time. Shoulder blades squeezing, pushing into the back of the shoulders, into their rear delts. And relax. Now we're going to hopefully feel those glutes and incorporate them in the next exercises. So let's get ourselves now onto all fours and work on simply keeping the legs straight. You're going to tap the ground and come back up, finding your glute in this hip extension. Just make sure again your back stays flat. You might need to limit the range of the extension so that you don't involve that lower back by keeping your abs nice and tight. Breath out as you kick. Last one. And let's switch sides again. Keeping the knee under the hip, hands under the shoulders, pulling a bit into the hands. Slowly relax, nice work. Again, your focus is to keep this little bit of a roundedness in your lower back, which is gonna keep this neutral spine. And again, let's go back to the other side. One more set of 10, toes lifted. The breath is there to make sure that this is hardening your abs without necessarily stiffening or tightening the lower back. Last rep. One more side. Switching again. Make sure your hands are slightly pulling into the mat. Your chin is tucked in to encourage abdominal tension. Looking between your thumbs and pressing that double chin to find a lot of neck stabilization. Last one, deep breath out as you kick and slowly relax. Good job. So of course we're trying to maintain this deep neck flexor tension as we're moving through the shoulders in this next exercise. We're going to work on the core a little bit more so that when we do get into the standing positions, we have a lot more stability. So getting ourselves on our backs, hands come behind the lower back to help it support through its extended position. We're going to bend one knee, extend the other leg, and from here we're going to make that double chin. We're going to lift through the chest. Make sure again you're squeezing a little bit the shoulder blades and you're peeling off those elbows. Holding for 5, slowly come back in. Breathing out up. Breathe in. Breath out. The function here is to feel your abs tighten as you hold and slowly flatten your back into the hands as you raise chest. If you're feeling your neck, make sure you're double chinning and to feel the burning just under the chin. Last one. Holding. And relax. Nice work. Again, emphasize this little rib movement to get more core tension. Let's switch sides. Same thing for 6 reps. Holding, shoulders lifted, push into the feet of both sides, and slowly relax. Last one. And slowly rest there. So we have that core tension now. We're going to try to incorporate it in a little bit more of a complex movement. We're getting ourselves into a dead bug, knees up just above the hips, hands touching the knees. With one leg, we're going to extend and breathe out, come back up, flatten your back. Breathing in, breathe out. Make sure your tailbone stays on the ground and your lower back is flat throughout. Move the other arm, you're pushing into the leg to maintain core tension. Breathing in, breath out. Double chin throughout the motion. Great. Last one. And relax. Good job. So let's work now on our side planking to get oblique tension. We're going to keep the chin tucked in, looking towards the knees. We can lift the hips, pull into the elbow, palm up, and hold here. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, feel free to straighten your legs. You can always have one foot in front of the other. Another 2 deep breaths. And slowly relax. We're going to switch sides. Again, place that elbow just under the shoulder. Lift your hips, chin tucked in, squeeze through the elbow, pulling down towards the hip. And slowly relax. All right, our abs are on. We're going to now get ourselves to move through the hips in a standing position. So we're gonna get ourselves simply in a split squat, 1 foot in front, 1 foot in the back. Nice and spread out. For everyone, it's going to be a little bit different of where you're going to feel optimal or comfortable. Let's get ourselves to drop our chest forwards, dominantly moving from the hips. Hands on your hip bone to feel that movement from your hips and not your lower back. Keeping the back flat, coming back up, pushing forwards. Again, the knee doesn't necessarily move here. We're focusing more on hip flexion. Getting your glute to work hard as you go up. Breathing out, dig into your front heel. It's about 80% of your weight on that front leg. The back foot is there for support. Breathing out, coming up. Breathing in, coming down. Last 2. Last 1. Feel that hip extension at the top, squeeze the glute and relax. We'll switch sides. Getting that nice opening in the chest, feeling your stretched out sternum. Breathing in, drop that chest, breath out, rock your pelvis. Push into your fingers, dropping. Push into your thumbs, find your glute. One and relax. Good job. So we were working those glutes. We're going to do one more set. Same thing. Working the lengthened phase of the glute. Pushing into your fingers and push into your thumb. Make sure to finish the movement with a nice squeeze or tilt without arching the back. Be aware of your core. 10. You're doing great. Focus again on that breath. Out, coming up. Breathing, coming down. 2 to go. Dig into that heel. Should be burning by now. And relax, good. If you're feeling that quad more of the back leg, make sure to lean a little bit more forwards. If you're feeling the front leg quad, try to make sure that knee doesn't move. One more time. Breathing in down, deep breath out up. How deep am I going? I'm trying to get that stretch in the hamstring. Once it stops me from getting lower, come back up. The knee bends, but it doesn't go forwards. Slowly relax. Nice work. So now we're going to work a little bit more on the stability on staying on one leg. We're going to use the wall. We're going to raise one knee, get your standing leg a little bit off the wall, maybe 20 centimeters or so. You're leaning into it. Hip is touching with the shoulder onto the wall. You're going to peel off and bring a nice high knee to the movement. So it's a bit of a tilt here, squeezing this small muscle. Breathing in, tilt your hip. Deep breath out, push off. It's a sturdy wall. Again, the softer you land, the better. If you're feeling that hip flexor, try to drop your leg a little bit more. If you lose balance, that's all right too. Just reset on your glute. Dig into the heel. 2 more. Again, watch that knee. Make sure it doesn't straighten completely so that the quad doesn't work hard. And I'm going to be coming from the back side and relax. Switching sides. Same thing here. A bit off the wall. Leaning into it. Coming off. Squeeze here. Breath out as you peel off. And make sure your shoulder is not raised, but you're just keeping it low even though your hand is in front. You're making sure your neck doesn't tighten up. Almost there. And 10. Nice work. All right, let's try to stretch it out. Right before we finish today's workout, we're gonna get ourselves to have a little bit more mobility in our internal rotations. So let's get ourselves on our hips, on our mat again. Bring the hands just at your chin or forehead, up to you depending on what you prefer. I'm going to talk to you guys, so I'm going to keep my head up. Keep your hips onto the ground, toes up, rotating, bringing your feet apart, but keep the knees together. Just a change in angle. And again, you're trying to get a V shape, keeping the hips down. Find that internal rotation of the hip in isolation. Now if you feel one side is tighter than the other, let's try to simply push with the other leg straight and find that stretch in that SI joint. Make sure that your opposite hip stays on the ground. And we can switch sides. And then come back to both. those feet apart. Breathe in, bring them in. And slowly relax, good job. Just to finish the stretch here, we're gonna cross those legs. Try to get the knee over one another and lean a little bit inwards. Feel the stretch in the side hips. And slowly switch sides. Cross the legs, lean in a little bit. And the feeling of leading with your chest is going to be important here. And slowly relax. Thanks for joining us for our hip mobility and stability exercises. I hope you're feeling a little bit more loose and a bit more tight in the right places. Enjoy our habit training or habit regime that we're really trying to get you to do for the next 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what you've chosen thus far. And I hope to see you at our next workout. Thanks again for joining me at healthybastari.com. We are here to help you with your chronic issues, whether it's your lower back, shoulders, or perhaps something that's been bothering you for a long time and that you haven't resolved through physiotherapy. We're here at Health Quarters in Amsterdam, trying to bring the best out of you through lifestyle coaching, through habit training, of course, but also through specific physical and mental coaching that we can guide through with our team, and we hope to have a nice impact on your quality of life. I hope to see you soon, and thanks again for joining in this morning.